Today we will discuss the microeconomics component number 4, that is production and costs. Microeconomics focuses primarily on individual entities such as consumers and firms, as well as the interactions that occur in markets. It studies how these entities make choices and allocate scarce resources. Key concepts such as supply and demand, pricing, and competition are central to microeconomic theory. Production in microeconomics. Decision-making. In microeconomics, firms decide how much to produce based on perceived demand for their goods and services, which is influenced by market prices. Production. Function. The production function, as mentioned earlier, illustrates how different combinations of inputs, labor, capital, etc., affect output. This is a key concept in microeconomics, as it helps firms identify the most efficient production methods. Optimization. Firms aim to maximize their output while minimizing input costs. Understanding the production process helps firms optimize resource use. Cost concepts in microeconomics. Cost structures. Microeconomics analyzes how different cost structures affect firm behavior and market dynamics. Costs are essential for firms to calculate pricing strategies, profit margins, and investment decisions. Short-run and long-run costs. Firms face different cost conditions in the short run with fixed inputs versus the long run when all inputs can be varied. Microeconomic theory examines these differences to understand how firms plan for the future. The relationship between microeconomics, production, and cost is intertwined. Microeconomic principles provide the framework for understanding how firms make decisions regarding production levels, resource allocation, and pricing strategies based on their costs. Effective management of production and costs is essential for firms to remain competitive and achieve economic sustainability in a dynamic market environment. Understanding these relationships also helps economists and policymakers predict market behavior and implement effective regulatory measures. Now we will discuss economists' thoughts on production and costs. Economists have developed various theories and concepts related to production and costs over time. These thoughts are pivotal in understanding how firms operate and how resources are allocated in an economy. Here are some key perspectives and theories concerning production and costs. 1. Classical economics. Adam Smith. Smith's idea of the invisible hand suggests that individual self-interest in production can lead to benefits for society as a whole. Efficient production is achieved through specialization and division of labor. David Ricardo introduced the concept of comparative advantage, arguing that countries, or firms, should produce goods for which they have a lower opportunity cost, enhancing overall efficiency. 2. Neoclassical economics. Marginal analysis. Neoclassical economists focus on the concept of marginalism, which involves examining the additional or incremental changes in production and costs. Firms maximize profit by producing where marginal cost, MC, equals marginal revenue, MR. Production function. This framework analyzes the input-output relationship. The Cobb-Douglas production function is a widely used form that represents how varying quantities of labor and capital contribute to output. 3. Short-run versus long-run analysis. Short-run costs. Economists distinguish between fixed costs, which do not change with output, and variable costs, which do. Understanding these concepts is crucial for firms to make short-term production decisions. Long-run costs. In the long run, all inputs can be varied, allowing firms to achieve economies of scale. The theory of economies of scale explains how larger firms can lower average costs as they increase output, while dice economies of scale can occur when firms become too large and inefficient. 4. Economies of scale. Economies of scale refer to the cost advantages that firms gain as they increase their level of production. Economists examine factors leading to economies of scale, such as specialization, technological advancements, and bulk purchasing. Constant and dice economies of scale. Beyond a certain point, firms might experience dice economies of scale, leading to higher per-unit costs as production scales up due to factors such as increased complexity or management challenges. 5. Behavioral and institutional perspectives. Transaction cost economics. Developed by Ronald Coase and Oliver Williamson, this theory emphasizes the costs related to economic exchanges and how firms might structure production to minimize these costs, including the decision to outsource versus in-house production. Bounded rationality. Behavioral economists argue that firms have limited information and cognitive capabilities, affecting their production and cost decisions. Firms may not always operate at optimal efficiency due to these constraints. 6. Dynamic models learning curves. These models suggest that as firms produce more output, they learn from experience and can lower costs over time through improved processes and efficiencies. Innovation and technology. Economists recognize that technological advancements can lead to lower production costs and increased output, fundamentally changing the cost structure of industries. 7. Environmental economics. Recent economic discussions consider the costs associated with environmental impacts and sustainability. The internalization of external costs, such as pollution, influences production decisions and costs, leading to debates over regulatory frameworks and market-based solutions like carbon pricing. 8. Globalization and competition. Economists analyze how globalization affects production costs through factors such as outsourcing, comparative advantages, and international trade. Competition in a global market forces firms to optimize production and reduce costs to maintain profitability. We discuss theories of production and cost in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching.